Selling cars since '83. I'm busting fools and teaching schools, sharing tools and breaking rules. Who's your daddy? They say it's me, breaking it down for all to see. Keep it simple, keep it clear. The status quo is all I fear.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Who's Your Danny Show. This week, the conversation continues with social media superstar Joey Little with Auto Alert. We had so much fun last time that we just kept talking. So we split it up into 2 episodes. If you didn't see the first one, you can go probably down below and click on episode 7 of the Who's Your Danny Show, which is the first half of my interview with him. And now you're about to see the second half. A lot of fun. And if you like what you see, go ahead and tweet about it with hashtag Autotainmentnet, or you can use @Danny_Benitez. Chime in. Let me know if there's future things that you want to talk about or some comments about today's show. Sit back and enjoy. Here comes Joey Little.
Yeah, it's just crazy. The things at our fingertips, the data, the intelligence, it's just mind-boggling. And one thing that I wanted to talk about is I want to step away from all this because all these things are available. And I speak at conferences. I get to see you there. And you hear all these incredible ideas. I want to go back and implement a lot of these things. And I talked with Hunter about this when it comes to even CRMs. All of the technology in the world, spending all the money and buying all this incredible stuff, if you get back to the dealership and then it's not being used, it's just a big mess. Give me your take on that. And I mean, it really goes without saying that we need to concentrate on the basics, but first things first, why do we do that? Why do we just buy all this stuff and then we end up not using it?
It's the American way.
God, it's frustrating. And you know, I'm guilty.
Like, I really don't need this thermos auto alert thing, but I have it. Like, so never, I put water in it every once in a while just to justify the fact that it sits on my desk.
Yeah. You know, what's the ROI of your thermos? We can talk about that.
No, I think that we want to sell more cars. I mean, when I say we, automotive, I mean, that's hands down what we want to sell more cars. It's just, we want to make more money. And we know to make more money, we got to focus on the customer. Yeah. So we focus on the customer. And I think sometimes that our focus is not too much on the customer, but we're not bringing enough back to our dealership.
Right.
I think one way, and this is just off the top of my head, this is an analogy I used before. I think that if we even just kind of consider how do we handle orphan leads?
Right.
You know, do we just dump them on somebody's desk or dump them on a green pea or maybe an old, somebody's been there for a while, and we don't have process behind that? That can tell a lot about our management system and how we handle things at the dealership, because if that's something that's we just blow off, then what other things are we blowing off? We look at it's almost a civil war between fixed and sales. Fixed operations has its own culture and sales has its own culture. Another story at a dealership that I was outside Detroit at, they were having employee appreciation luncheon. Mm-hmm. You've seen these.
Yeah.
And there's about 150. What's that?
Did a fight break out?
It was close. There was 150 employees at this dealership. So it's a big dealership, good volume. And, they've got the tables all set up front. The DP's walking around. She's shaking hands and saying, hey, great month. We're doing a great job. So I went to the guys in the tower and I go, hey, does Fix know that you guys have employee appreciation luncheon? And they're like, they better. We sent the email out 2 weeks ago. Well, how many techs do you know that check their email? Yeah. How many, even so I immediately went back to the Fix operations director. This is back when I was doing my kind of travels and learning the pain points. Yeah. And I said, do you guys know that it's employee appreciation luncheon? And he goes, is that where that smoke's coming from?
Yeah.
I go, yeah. And he goes, God damn it. And he gets the service manager and she's just livid. So she goes out to the bay and she's just like, they got freaking barbecue up front if you want some, apparently. You just see the attitude. By the time that techs were getting up there, anybody that was getting to the front to get food, sales is going through the line for the second time.
Sure.
Right? And you just sit back like, ooh, it just hurts. Why are we not focusing as much attention and as much of our energy to our employees as we are to our customers?
Absolutely.
Don't we know that our employees are our number one, what's the word I'm looking for? What's that?
Asset.
Well, not just asset, but they bring in a lot of leads.
Absolutely.
they're the ones that are sitting at the dinner table going, talking smack on the dealership because they're the ones that they just don't have that.
Right. Well, that's a perfect picture. That paints the picture of the mindset. And I've talked about this a million times about having a one customer mindset. And if you have a one customer mindset, the customers are just customers. So they're not a service customer or a sales customer. And when we differentiate the customer, then we differentiate those departments. And there has to be, the only difference between a sales and service customer is which door they come in the dealership in. And they're just a customer. They're going to buy, they're going to have their car repaired there. And in that same workshop I was talking about earlier, we had that problem here bad when we started at this dealership. And we had to change, we came up with a little program that we have to change what we say, how we pay, and how we play.
Look at you rhyming.
Yeah, I had to rhyme it because it sounds cool. It looked cool up on the presentation. And those were fairly easy. But we had to change what we say, so we quit saying things like, oh, they work at the back of the house, or the service department, or the service customer, the sales customer. So we changed our verbiage and the way we talked, and that takes a while. And the way we pay, we decided to join sales and service in a lot of the bonuses and the pay, because a used car manager and a service writer, the service writer makes more money the more he charges to recondition that used car. He gets paid more. And then the used car manager gets paid more if he spends less by doing that, his gross side. So we had these conflicting deals. So we had to change the way we pay because our pay separates them. And the way we play, the thing you talked about, we have these dinners. They come in. We're required to have the table has to have half sales department, half service. We sit together. We mingle. They go through the line, and we talk as one. We share different bonuses with everybody equally. And it changed everything around our store. But we have to get rid of that separation.
There was, a dealership in New York was trying to put in place what you were just talking about, because they'd had, so much bad blood, two different, it's almost getting 4 different areas. You got BDC, sales, service, and then the office.
That's right.
Like, the service bay saw this kind of like, hey, we're going to try. And this is a sales CEO or sales DP. You know the difference. And he invited them all to go to a Yankees game. He was going to buy an allotment of tickets, but you had to sign up ahead of time. So the service guys decided, did my light just go out? The service guys decided that they're all going to say they're going to go to this thing, so they'll have to pay the money. And then they did not show up to the Yankees game. They just got the DP to buy those tickets and then didn't show up.
Oh. Well, further defining the problem.
Which, by the way, it's a motion sensor in my office.
Oh, that's okay.
That's cool.
Let's take it down a notch.
Okay.
Do you have any Kenny G? We can.
There we go.
Oh, we're back! Yay! Okay,
that's my fat meter. If the light goes off while I'm in here, it means I've been sitting down way too long, and it's time to get up and walk around.
There's a take-home idea for everybody: the lazy light switch. Okay, let's move into back to social media and the way that employees use social media. I've heard discussions on shows and podcasts or whatever about, we don't want our people using social media because we're scared they're going to do this or that, and they don't need to be playing around on Facebook. They need to be selling cars. Then there's people like me that go, no, we want you on there, and just kind of stay within the riverbanks, because it's for me as a dealer. I mean, it's just free advertising someone else is investing time in. So what are you seeing out there, like social media policies for people or tools that will help dealers take this kind of inevitable thing that's going on and maximize it for the dealership and branding and marketing, the salesperson, so on and so forth?
So let's do a pop quiz real quick. I'm going to ask you what all these have in common, okay?
Okay.
And we're going to talk about some of the personalities at the dealership.
Okay.
Let's say somebody who smokes a lot of weed. That's one. Okay. Let's say a hardcore conservative, Bible-beaten, keeping my guns, my Second Amendment,
Gotcha.
You know, that type of person.
Gotcha.
Let's think about the woman who likes to breastfeed in public. Okay. Let's think about the Bernie Sanders, granola making, you know,
Tree hugging.
take half my money,
Yeah.
help the poor. All right. Those 4 type of personalities work inside your dealership, correct?
Right.
Right. What else do those 4 have in common? They all buy cars.
That's
Everybody
right.
buys cars.
They have a driver's license.
What I hear from these dealerships that talk about Facebook being a clocksucker, but at the same time they're like, I don't want Jimmy. Jimmy's come up quite a bit today.
Yeah.
I don't want Jimmy because Jimmy does nothing on his Facebook but talk about how weed should be legalized, and he's just got pictures of him, you know, blunts. My thing to that is that people who are friends with Jimmy online buy cars.
That's right.
And Jimmy's not friends with people that don't know Jimmy, right? That's Facebook for you.
Right.
Somebody who's into open breastfeeding or really about, you know, a feminist or anything like, she has feminist friends. She has people that know how to. So
also drivers.
Also buy cars. I don't think GMs get that. They just, I mean, I think they're so worried about offending all these different, but there's a reason why you and I are friends on Facebook.
Right.
There's just a reason. We get along. We're friends. We know each other.
Yeah.
That wall needs to go down. Our CEO here, Mike DeLay, who just became CEO within 3 weeks ago, came to me and saw the old, and this is nothing against the old way that Auto Alert was, but they had a social media policy that was very strict.
Right.
You do not make videos. You do not post anything about the company. You do not answer for anything as the company. We have a spokesperson for I mean, it was all these don'ts.
Right.
And so he tasked me with writing this new social media policy, and I've got nothing but do's. I've got, you know, do make videos.
Right.
Do get on as many. I only have one. There's one thing that I say for a dealership and any kind of company out there is ask your employees not to use the name of the company inside their profile name so it doesn't mess up your SEO.
Right.
But we are a complete, like yourself, social-friendly company. You want to make videos thanking your dealers if you did a demo, or if you want to add, absolutely. You want to write something,
right.
Absolutely. If you want to send it to us and we'll proof it for you, you know, make sure you can spell right, we'll do it.
Oh,
to all of our employees. Because
where can you said you wrote an article?
For which one?
You wrote an article, or you just wrote the policy?
Yeah, so I wrote the policy. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I'm sure that when HR got it, because HR is very friendly here. It's the HR firm. They probably looked at it and went, "What? You know, I've never seen anything like this before." But that's what Mike wanted. Mike and I were together at Vin Solutions, and the whole way that my career kind of blossomed, and Mike took me on, and he's my mentor, is because of my social. Because here's how it goes. It went back to those radio days where I was using social media to connect with my listeners, and you know. And then moving into this, I'm like, why can't I be friends with the dealers that we do demos with? Or why can't I be friends with the dealers that have bought our CRM? And part of that also came to the fact that if we had a press release that was going to go out or a new product, not only would we put it on our brick and mortar social pages for Vin at the time, I would create an email and send it to every one of my salespeople and every one of my, you know, PMs and because I knew they were friends with dealers on Facebook, and I would say, post this to your personal Facebook.
Sure.
Because we're going to reach more people. Any dealer that has Facebook shut down at their dealership, has it blocked, is living in 1981.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've got multiple these things, you know, that you're going to like this. Look at this. How many phones I have.
Oh, my gosh. That's right. That's called 6 screening, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Now, I'll tell you, it's really... I wouldn't say it's no different. It's probably worse than saying we do not want you to use the phones. You know, don't use the phones, because I promise you right now, I can go back to all of my call recordings and I'll show you much worse offenses on the phone than there ever has been on Facebook.
Right.
Or people worse than that don't even answer. I was talking to Call Review the other day. What's Chip? Who's the guy, the CEO at Call Review? Anyway, they did 2 million phone calls, and 37% of the sales calls of the 2 million didn't reach the sales agent. 37%. I thought that was bogus, and so I looked. Some of the other companies had 36, 37, 30. That's the number. So for every dollar you spend on marketing to get phone calls, you're only getting 60-some cents on the dollar when you get started. So it goes back to what we first talked about. We have tools out there and we don't use them, or we have some very basic things we need to get figured out before we start doing all these other things. So I thought that was amazing. And talking about phones, and now we're talking about social media. So not only are they stupid for outlawing Facebook, they need to be concentrating on it, and that needs to be where all of these things are based. We're doing a lot with social, and we want to do a lot more, but that's awesome. You're the guy when it comes to social media. You're the guy I'm going to call and talk to. You've got it figured out.
For an old guy, I mean, I get a lot of I keep up. I try to. I think that's a main thing. You have to keep up.
Sure.
What the trends are. I also think that you shouldn't spread yourself too thin. If you're going to be on social, pick one platform to really be on.
Yeah.
And I see people trying to hold down Periscope and Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and Foursquare. I mean, just pick one and get really into it.
Sure. Another thing to remember is that there's different content for the different mediums. A lot of times people take this one thing and they'll spray it out on all these different. And this is Gary Vee in his book. Everybody knows this, but if you're a good photographer and you are great with images, then Instagram's probably going to be your deal. Or if it's more business and content and articles and that kind of stuff, LinkedIn's super awesome, B2B stuff or whatever. So how important is it to pick your medium also based on what it is that you're going to create?
Yeah, I fortunately have an amazing team here on our marketing team for AutoAlert.
Right.
So I'm able to be on multiple platforms at the same time because I have a team.
Right.
If it was just left up to me, you'd see me LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. That's pretty much where I live.
Yeah, and I need to get better at LinkedIn. I've got a lot of connections. Why I don't do a lot of LinkedIn? Because I don't really have much content.
Not much content. Hey,
mine's all this. And then somebody corners me and I go, So
it's good. It's and it's just gonna get more and more, man. There's there's apps coming out every day.
Yeah.
More and more new stuff. Even like I've thought of some apps that we're trying to put through here. So we even have an app, Fusecast, which you saw a little bit of at CBT for the employees. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. This is just going to get more. What was that? I just got the last one. Do you know what the average time spent for the user on Facebook daily is? The average amount of time for an average user for Facebook in the United States. Or no, this is actually worldwide. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You know what it
tell
is?
me. You want me to guess? 2
hours.
2 hours.
2 hours. That's average. Now think about it. If you think, wow, that's a lot of time. That's the middle.
That's including like my aunt,
Yes.
who's been on it one time in a month.
Well, sometimes you got to think of that whole 99-1 rule. Have I ever told you this? The 99-1 of users of Facebook and any kind. So any kind of user-generated websites that are out there, whether it be Yelp or Google, Facebook, Twitter, etc., Pinterest, it's broke down basically into 3 groups. You've got 1%ers, which is the content contributors. They are content makers. They're constantly making new content. You would be a 1%er on Facebook, myself included. A lot of the people you've talked about in this, Robert Weissman, all them, 1%ers. That's me. Then you've got 9%, which are the content contributors. That's my mom. She never posts her own stuff, but she likes, comments, and shares everybody else's stuff. She'll like something from Bernie Sanders, and the next one will be from like the United States Marine Corps Devil Dogs, and the next one will be, and she just constantly. That's 10% of users right there, and that's actually where we've been drawing our metrics too, is based off likes, comments, and shares. That's how we figure if we do something right. Well, now let's get into the 90%, and the 90% of the lurkers, the creepers. We call them the non-detected users. So they're the ones that are constantly on Facebook for that 2 hours a day, but never leaving any kind of trail noticeable that they're there. So your aunt that you may think that's only there once a month, may actually be there a lot more, even though she's not leaving any posts or any likes or any comments. It's that 90% that we have to remember that is still there.
Sure.
That is looking at our posts, that are reading, watching our car ads, and doing that kind of stuff.
And it still is influential, just because they don't respond or engage. Yeah.
my girlfriend is part of that 90%. She's an executive for Samsung, so she has the excuses like a lot of other executives or these big power corporations that she doesn't want anything stupid or she doesn't want, you know, she finds something that's silly or goofy or even kind of about a romance or about, she'll send it to me as a direct message.
Right.
Instead of posting it to my wall.
Sure.
She will say, hey, listen, I just read this. You might want to check it out. It'd be like the 10 things you need to know about Valentine's Day, you know. I'm like, no, they want you to post that.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, but I don't want to.
That's 90%, man. That's 90% of users. It's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
I'll tell you, I think we're just going to learn, and I think it ebbs and flows. We go really crazy about it, and I don't know if we're getting to a saturation point where we're going to have to start learning other things. There's already new technologies. Because once this is Western civilization. Once we figure something out or we see the potential, then everybody just crushes it to death. It's like, I think Gary Vee said that eventually marketers will ruin everything. So, and so.
Well, you look at the TV
next?
show Adam Ruins Everything. Have you seen that TV show that's on? It's about a guy that just basically ruins everything you think about something.
Sweet. I'm gonna write that
and
down.
it blames all of it on marketing. Everything is blamed on marketing.
Sure.
Which is true, man.
It is, and we're part of it. I mean, that's why we go and we're like, Facebook, and let's just figure out all this stuff. But the thing is that data will remain, and people, like you said, I think we're just seeing this open, transparent society, this thing where everything gets out in the open. I don't know that it's that bad that we kind of know what's going on. There are creepy people, but I don't know. We could go on all day about this, and I could seriously talk to you all day. It's fun. And we better give these people a break and wrap things up. And you probably need to get to work, and I damn sure need to get to work. So, but
yeah, we
quickly tell how can people get
an internal blab? Have you heard of Blab yet? You've seen Blab?
I want to do one only so that I can get everyone. I want to play the Brady Bunch theme song so everybody can look up and look over. That's the whole reason I want to do a Blab.
Yeah, we use them for internal communication. So we put them on and we talk about the shows that are coming up for our employees across the country can see what we're doing. So
okay, I wanted to. Will you invite me to a Blab?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Okay. So tell everybody how they can get a hold of you if they have more questions about social media, the way it interacts with your CRM, the way that people can take social media and have it be have it enhance not only what's going on at the store sales, but the customer experience. And how can they get a hold of you? Either Twitter or whatever. Shoot.
So Social Little Man is the handle. It's across the board anywhere. You type in facebook.com/Social Little Man, twitter.com/Social Little Man. If you Google Social Little Man, I'm going to pop up. But it's also joey.little@autoalert.com.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like you said, I could chat about this all day long. We should see if we could do like a 10-hour blab.
A Blabathon, and we'll do it for charity.
Yes,
and
we should.
We'll take donations for us to stop. We could raise tons of money. And, even if we got a lot of money, we probably wouldn't stop because we just, it's like, we're still going to keep talking. Hey, listen, it's been fun. You're seriously one of the smartest guys around. I love talking to you, and thanks for what you do for the industry. We didn't even get into some of the other things you've done for charity, and you've got a big heart, and you're a fun guy. You're certainly a true friend of his. You have a thermos with a low ROI, and I've got a bunch of products at my store with a low ROI. But maybe you double think about that thermos, and I'll go back and look at some of my products. Joey, have a huge day, have fun, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
See you soon.
All right, see you, buddy.
This thing right here is for the IS-20G. And this thing right here is by my man Danny B. What they call you?
Who's your Danny? They say it's me. Been doing cars since '83. I'm busting fools and teaching schools, sharing tools and breaking rules. Who's your Danny? They say it's me. Breaking it down for all to see. Keep it simple, keep it clear. The status quo is